show. Well, some of you guys know this, but because of the way my work schedule goes, I live away from home two days a week, 3 days a week actually. Sleep away from home 2 days a week. And so when I'm at the place where I stay, when I'm at work all by myself, in the evenings and early mornings, before my day starts, that's a lot of times when I build. I don't really do much in the way of TV here. I do some reading, studying, things like that. But in my free time, I tend to build. So I get a lot of building done. And because of that, I don't get to do a lot of building at home, right? Because when I'm at home, I feel like I should be with the family and all that. But occasionally, I have some time where nobody's around and I have most of my stuff caught up. And so occasionally I can go down in my basement and do a little more building. And so I tend to keep at least one kit going there all the time. And I had just finished the one I was working on. And so I decided to bring a new one, put a new one on the table. But before I can put it on the table, I feel like I have to unbox it, right? Because that way I'm keeping up with my unboxings and all that other stuff. And so I found this one at Ollie's a couple years ago. And it's this one. It's the Motorcraft T-Bird Pro Stock. This was Bob Glidden's car from back in the day. And I thought, you know what? This has been sitting in the stash for a while. I'm going to get it out and build it. So let's have a look at what's inside. Start off with the instructions. This tells us a bit about Bob Glidden. I had the privilege of seeing him race a couple of times. One of the great pro stock drivers there ever was. And so I was kind of excited to get my hands on this kit, especially at Ollie's, you know, good stuff cheap. And I looked it up on eBay, and not cheap anymore. All right. Inside, of course, they've got this really nice parts listing and different instructions, the paint list that you need to build it, to make it pretty much accurate to the real car, which is what I intend to do. When I have a kit that's for a real car, I tend to build it like the real car. And we have engine assembly with the 2.4 tunnel ram and all the other stuff that your traditional drag cars would often have. Again, I think this is like an 87, and so this has been a while, but I'm sure it's not an 87 kit, but anyway, we have interior and suspension building and seats. I'm sorry, we didn't get to the suspension yet. Well, I guess we did a little bit there. And then we have mounting the engine and more suspension interior, and then we go over here to, I think we have body assembly next. Oops, wheels and tires, and then body assembly. And then finally, flip it over, you've got painting and decorating instructions. Now, there was something about this one that surprised me a little bit, and we'll see that as we get to the decals. But first, let's look at our glass sprue. Okay, we've got the, I'm not going to take these out, but you've got the windshield, the rear window, the side windows, and looks like glass for the front end, which is kind of surprising. Usually that's a decal. So we'll see about that as we go on. We've got, of course, the thin tires for the front, the fat ones for the back. These look pretty nice. It's a two-part slick on the back, so, and with a little bit of seam on it. But that's okay, because when you build a drag car, one of the things you should really do, oh my goodness, excuse me, is sand it so it looks like it's had a few burnouts on the tires. So we're going to do that. And then we have our white trees here. Let's dig in and see what we've got. We're going to start off with the body. A very nice Thunderbird body This looks pretty much like a stock Thunderbird. Not surprising since it is pro stock, right? Uh, we have our let's see. We have seats, interior pan / frame. We got the wheels here. Got batteries, suspension parts, exhaust parts, and then we have a lot of roll cage parts primarily. They look good. Kit looks really clean. There's not a lot of flash. Matter of fact, I'm not really seeing any flash. Here we have largely engine parts. It looks like the dashboard and a couple odds and ends for that. And then, of course, we have the hood scoop, the bumpers front and rear, some more roll cage parts, and spoiler. And then, this is a pleasant surprise right here. You know, if you've been watching this for a while, one of the things I really don't like is chrome suspension parts. I just think that makes it a little tough. So it's pretty much just a couple chrome pieces, some nice chrome wheels, the grill, and looks like the valve covers, and some, I think this is the shifter, and another control part. And then they do have actual chrome parts for the headlights, which again is surprising. Usually those are decals or wraps or whatever they are on the real cars. So, but I don't know. Maybe this one was actually built like that. All right, so that's most of the chrome stuff. Oh, we do also have the red taillights right there. Now, this is the part that surprised me a little bit, and it is, here we have our decal sheet. Now, they have the stripes, they have the Motorcraft wording for the side, but as I'm looking at it, those are separate pieces. What I was kind of thinking was that they would have the white in between and that the whole side graphic would be a decal. But no, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to mask out the white and then paint the red and then run these stripes along it accordingly. And hopefully that will all work out. They also did decals of the window trim. Now, for the record, I usually don't use those. I usually end up using using paint because I never have a lot of luck laying those on the window that they sit properly. But we'll see. I may give it a try because decals are pretty easy to pop off. All right. Anyway, this one brings back fond memories. I remember, like I say, going to see Bob Glidden drive back in the day at the drag strip. We used to go to the Summer Nationals in Englishtown, New Jersey, and we would also go to Maple Grove Raceway from time to time. That's actually the closest one to where I live. And boy, I just used to love to watch those guys run down the track. To me, drag racing is the perfect sport for people with ADD because the race is over in 6 seconds or less, and then you're off to the next one very shortly thereafter. I especially love Nitro Funny cars. They're probably my favorite in the dragster thing, and I think it's as much because of how cool the cars look as it is to anything with the racing. I've been an artist and a designer my whole life, and I love to see these really cool cars all covered with decals and stickers blasting down the strip as fast as they possibly can. What I do miss, and I'll confess this, is I miss the old days where the cars were more. Now the modern cars are really cool looking, but it's almost always a sponsor graphic. Back in the day, you had, John Force's Brute Force with the big metal fist, and you had the snake and the mongoose, and yeah, you did have some sponsor decals and things like that, but it was all these cars with names. And so I still love it. I still love drag racing. I still love building drag race kits. And like I say, Bob Glidden is somebody that I really remember watching. And I'm looking forward to building this and seeing what we can do to make it look as real as possible. Regardless of how real it ends up looking, here's the bottom line: I'm going to have fun. And that's good because model building is supposed to be fun. That's what I have for you today, guys. I look forward to digging into this. It's going to take a while because, like I said, I don't get to build at home very much, but we'll get it done. All right. Take care, guys. Have a